we are we are highly respected. I got to tell you this. This is a we statement, not just me. We are highly respected in New York and San Francisco and Philadelphia now as the Angora Poets Paris. And so our poets
Yeah.
do feature presentations in New York, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and
Okay.
other places. But right now there's a lull in the action, because
Yeah.
people are getting zoomed out or they're whatever. So I wanted to let you know that so you don't feel like you showed up in a blind alley.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's nice of you. Okay.
Thank
Because
you.
actually, I'm not a poet at all. I'm a photographer. If you, I'm going to take your picture. Then I'm going to say, we had a great poetry. we, had a, we, had a, we had a great poet session tonight featuring Maya Angelou and just lie.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah.
You missed Maya Angelou and Lawrence
Yeah.
Ferlinghetti, his last recorded tape. Just lie.
And Amanda Gorman and
Do you have music? Yeah, Ray Charles
yeah.
sang my poem tonight. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Mo,
Okay.
did you go to that thing at Porta de Bagnolet this afternoon?
No, I didn't.
Uh,
What did I miss? I don't know.
I don't know. I went up there and couldn't find it. I thought I knew where it was, but I didn't.
Well, what was it? I don't understand.
Maya Slam was invited us uh, at the last live Angora.
Oh, okay, because I didn't get it. I never got a notice about that.
No, it was a verbal invitation.
Okay, well, somehow it didn't. Well, I wouldn't have been able to go anyway because I'm running around trying to get a blood test on COVID. So- okay, so all right then. We're gonna ask Dave in a moment if we get recorded and we're on both our news feeds, which goes around. So you'll get tagged, Muriel, with
Okay.
this. And we're on a YouTube channel. So we're the mouse that roars. Okay. So, David, is it possible for you to record us? Okay. So give me the 3, 2, 1. It is showtime, and this is Mo time. And it's Mo time to read some poetry, like mine, yours, and some others. And hi, this is Mo Singer, and this is Angora Poets on this Sunday, 11th of July, 2021. And we're about to start with a cushy quartet tonight of poets from various locations. And I believe we're going to hear both English and French. So, with that, I would like to begin with our first poet, who we affectionately call the judge, because you can sure enough tell his opinions on things he disagrees with. He's quite articulate about that and gets a lot of attention. So, I'd like to pay attention to Bill Strangmeyer. You're on, Bill.
Thanks, Mo. I dug up some old poems that didn't seem so bad. This is called Joie de Vivre. I swear I've never talked aloud of my Narcissus dream. The talk I like is slewed and dredged, or full of shuffling scream. The pasty tint I pay my face is from my love of gags. The party line that I might bless befits decaying hags. Who lives in rain and loves fat tears is nourished as white bread, as with bread. A bruise seeps out through all his pores, his prayers aid not the dead. I tinker with my shuffling gait as might a hobo's son. How does one march with arms or fret? I feel like dancing's done. My baby doesn't love me much. I am no gift, it seems. I've always got some vulgar itch where she gets lost in dreams. And if she would surprise me once, I'd never cry or sigh. I'd rather be well led, not prance or chew on wooden why. I'm never right, I'm never wrong. It's all in other hands. One finger wrapped in wedding string recalls to me time's sands.
I say, I say, there's a statement there, Bill, right out of the chute. Can we hear number 2, please, from you?
Sure. A quote from Isaac Dinesen, a story called Tempests. She said to me, "Everything you do in life, Valdemar, you do to make me happy." "Oh, yes," the girl cried out, as if struck to the heart. "That is how they talk to us. That is what they believe about us." This is called Grand Delusion. An artist knows an artist by the rings in their ears and the beautiful charmers they get for their sex, or else by the ring in their nose. Yeah, that's tugged by a master you don't even know. For here in the West, you're the product of food, the tripe of religions, and the drip from TVs, the news from the government peg boys. So just try now to sing what comes straight from your heart, if you have got a heart. But it sometimes takes guts, and the ennui of bored housewives is a product of cash, an adoration of the public, Christmas tinsel on a tree. And I'll tell you what else isn't real: fashion.
Okay. I like how you dropped that one right on the table. All right. That'll get you a lot of fans and avenues yours to sink.
Yeah.
Okay. And as we like to call it, can we hear 3 is a charm?
Yeah, what should I read? Okay, Psalm 126, they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Litany for orphans. The premonitions come, but I don't listen. I can see with my eyes lie. The rapture keeps me cruel and awake, wishing, will I hope for his balm or hot rain? No accusations fly, though we're wrong, we know. Our Redeemer is fled, we live well. Discreet restrictions pall, like discussed on TV, which loves the endless lies, as do we.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Bill.
I,
Okay.
as you can
Yeah.
see, I used to be much cheerier than I am now.
What was it? Climate change?
It's the fault of COVID. I could have been a contender.
Here, I thought it was French plumbing. Geez, I don't know. What do I know? Go figure. Okay. All right. Very good. Good to hear you. We'll hear you again in the second round. Okay, so now let's go to the other side of, let's cross the ocean, go transatlantic, all the way across that long continent of North America to San Francisco and invite on Dave Wilson, who we affectionately call Dharma Dave. So, David, you're on, please.
All right, thanks very much. Uh, okay. Quincy, boom, woodcutter, run. The afternoon is sunlight on melting snow, breeze of pleasure, ruffling by and by the people's faces, reflecting smiles and eyes, green grass and gravel in the streets, and a slow pace of life. Birds and children play in yards, dogs yawn and scratch in the shade. Easy-going, long-haired, imported freaks laugh and drink, smoke joints, talk about last year's parties. And me, the Bay refugee, with pretty bubbling girl by my side, accepting handshakes and greetings in this poetry birthing canyon of all my quiet dreams and inmost quests.
Nice. So, what dimension are you in lately, David?
Well, I'm not sure.
That's
Not
great.
that dimension, a
Those
different one
links.
probably than that one.
All right.
But,
Well, how about number 2 then, please?
all right, let me see if I can find it here. I did not prepare ahead of time, so I'm just sort of winging it. Well, here's the one. I told y'all. Speaking of features, I got the one coming up on Friday morning, 4 a.m. Paris time.
Oh,
Um,
goody.
and yeah, I know, bright and early. And so this one, and the woman who's organizing this thing is just really sharp, and I really,
Well, which venue will you be appearing? Let us know here.
it's the Point Arena Third Thursday Poetry Series,
And
and
where are they
and
homes for you?
they are usually they are in Point Arena, California, which is up on the Mendocino coast, kind of remote. It's very well attended, but this will be a virtual event. I was kind of almost, hoping I'd have to go up there and to help reopen it, but we're not to that point yet.
Okay.
So
Well, let's hear it, brother.
virtual.
Are
So
we
this
hearing
one,
one that you're
this poem here was I'm gonna read it. This is the one that she included in the as part of the invite. So I'll read this one.
nice?
Silomar Beach Meditations. A flying eyeball wings across the sky, the bleach blue sky of April, offset against the white sand. I walk upon this beach in the slow loping gait of many miles to go before I rest my weary bones. I hear the rhythm in the waves, just listening without analyzing, not particularly going anywhere. Understand this is a miracle. Ain't it good to be alive? I rejoice in my poet's vision and regret not the times when demons torment me, or emotions unhinge me, or falsehoods deceive me. For these are necessary parts of the process. And only this ocean is eternal, the irregular rhythm of the waves, the manifestation of cyclic patterns. The diffuse blue light of a warm afternoon inspires one to calm meditations, whilst one would bark at the moon that hangs in the dark sky, and both are reflections of one. Duality is illusion, all the same ocean. In this world of trickery, we trick ourselves, each of us a Buddha, eating pomegranate seeds. It is our duty, our, uh, our choice to help each seed reach its full potential, though there be no reward in this beyond doing it. Enjoy the drama, dream of life, the poetry of it, and the ocean shall answer in its answer that is no answer.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
That was all right.
Wow, that was
You,
beautiful. Yeah.
you just tipped the applause meter.
Great.
Okay. So there is no duality, David. I don't want to get into a philosophical rabbit hole here. So
Okay.
because right, that shoots down a whole lot of
We are the
pretentious string.
pomegranate. Oh,
Yeah, pretentious string theory and things like that.
no, we don't.
We're all living in two universes. Go with the one you know, like you're talking about. All right. How about three's a charm?
Okay.
Mm.
And here's part of the poet's dilemma, I guess. A poem unbidden, hollow inside, as if somebody were sucking out my guts with a straw. This queasy boundary between sickness and health, this is the place where things change. This is the place that poems come from.
Mm.
This is the place where time stands still. I know too many people pluck at me with their eyes. Too many people draw the strength right out of me. I'm trying to write a poem while my body wavers in a temporary wind. The stuff of dreams is made of fragile stuff. Poems grow out of desolation, arriving unannounced, banging upon the doors of consciousness. Let me in! Let me in! Out of the cold! I am so empty and tired. Why should I be your means to expression, you poem? I know better than to think I rot you.
Okay. Okay. Yes, David.
Yeah.
You know, if I may say, for my, you struck me as like, the life of the miserable poet with a very excellent poem. And first of all, you struck me as the way I would hear resonance coming from William Burroughs, resonance from the poet Anne Sexton as well. So while they're winning literary awards, they're talking about basically imploding. If one reads their autobiographies and the circumstances behind certain poems.
Well, they had
So
no choice, you know.
you're in that tradition very well in this poem.
Thank
What
you.
about you? And then, of course, a lot of artists will agree that we write. I mean, I've written some of my best stuff when I've been down and out. When things are going real well, geez, uh, I
Too
think I'll have
busy.
a
You're too
milkshake
busy.
and
Yeah, have a milkshake
I think
instead.
I'll have a milkshake and a large pizza today. You know, and I would think, but is that your feeling as well? That we,
I think that's often the case.
for yourself, for instance,
Often, not always, but that's definitely there's
you
a
know.
lot of that there. Yeah.
So, because we discussed earlier when Muriel brought it up, like how do poets live in, almost in misery, and it's like,
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of thing. That's kind of the topic of the third poem. Is like you don't really have a lot of say in the matter. It's like
right,
you know.
Yeah.
So,
right,
congratulations, you're a poet. You're gonna have to
right.
live. No, you're gonna have to live with it. You know.
And if
So
you think of us, if you think of Oscar Wilde, who finally got sent to prison, for his gay affair, which was, and standing up to nobility, royalty. He wrote the Ballad of Reading Jail, where he's talking about, bare feet, cold and hungry.
oh yeah.
And I think it's the best poem he ever wrote. I mean, it's an opinion, I'm not a, but yeah, I'm very interested in that as well because I was glad to survive dark periods and have something to show for it that wasn't simply morbid, you know,
But
like a
and
flat narrative
your
that's
work touches upon difficult episodes in your life and stuff like that as well.
right. It wasn't just morbid, like I feel bad. Oh my God,
No.
I feel terribly. Do you know how bad I feel? No, to make something creative out of that, out of the blues, shall we call it,
And
instead
hopefully
of being a
even
book.
if you've got the deep blues, you can find the silver lining. There's usually some
Yeah,
kind of silver lining, right?
that's right. I mean, when you talk about Maya Angelou or Lucille Clifton, you know,
Right, exactly.
Gregory Corso over in New York, you got it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, David. That was great.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
so now I'd like to introduce us to someone who's appearing with Angora Poets for her first time. And we want to welcome her very well. And she can, a little bit about her, which is to say, people who are listening to this recording. Um, she is both French and American and now living in the United States. And she's a poet. So we want to welcome right now Muriel Mabongo. Did I say that right?
Thank you. That
Mabongo.
was
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I got that right. Okay. So anyway, in all seriousness, let me present to you for the first time on Angora Poets, Muriel Mabongo. Please, over to you.
Thank you. Um, so I'm going to read a poem in French, and I also have poems in English, but well, we'll see.
Could you give us a brief summary of the forthcoming poem?
Yes. The first poem is about the feminine relationship to our times and the gender issue, the gender question. Shall I start?
Please.
Yeah. Okay. Fin de règne compliqué pour une femme. Je porte en moi tous les univers, des machines rondes, irrévérencieuses, accrochées à vos suçoirs comme des cavatines à la gorge des cantatrices muettes. Là, vos regards hagards sur moi, l'orifice sanctifié, le secret des abysses originels, piétinés. Je vous préviens, je vais sceller ce sanctuaire des corps terrestres avec de la bile noire, je vous préviens. Ils s'entasseront sur la cime des arbres le soir, et je concocterai des arias pleins d'injures, et je détrousserai votre laideur, et en déposerai les pampres incandescents à vos pieds. Et dans la guerre de genre, paix il y aura, et dans ce genre de guerre, plus rien ne vivra. Voilà.
Whoa.
That was the first one.
Well, there was a finality to that piece. Well, and in the end, no one lives, huh?
Yes, in the end, no one lives, since we're all wanting to get something from the other and to be like the other, then there's no more diversity. And
yeah, and that could be there. People don't realize it, but they may be committing cultural extinction
yes,
of their own value system because it gets more and more
true,
isolated. I'm different from you. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And number 2, please.
And number 2 is a poem in English. So let me just check. That one's funny. Okay. The name of the poem is The Poem. A delightful frustration. There was a poem, suspended in the universal ether, floating in nothingness above. There was a poem. The poem was loud and complicated. The poem was buzzing and fuzzy. The poem was far from being truncated. The poem stood in its august majesty, infatuated with invisibility, as formless and superior as an idea can be. The poem was self-sufficient. The poem was filled with sibilant obscurity. The poem was fricative and fraudulent. The poem was singing for nobody. The poem was dancing for itself, playful in eternity. The poem was all-knowing and pelf. The poem was incredibly nifty. The poem was ignoring the poetess, tied to earthliness and heavy. The poetess lost in everythingness. The poetess unpoetic and weary. Swollen with reasoning pride, as informed and superior as a mind can be, and yet empty, forsaken by beauty. Would they ever meet? The poetess was longing for the poem. The poetess was hoping it'd come. The poetess was losing her phoneme. The poetess was cleaning her tongue, lest His Majesty consent to dissent. The poetess never ascended to the poem's ethereal smoothness. She believes the poem stayed uncorrupted, away from human artistic pettiness. Still, on a fickle morning, fickle as the poem who never came can be, she could smell the scent of something rhyming, vaguely on the verge of possessing her all over again.
Yes.
Thank you.
And like David recited, the poem has an essence and life of its own.
Yes.
We create it, and then it's almost like delivering a child in some ways. It's yours and not yours once it goes out. Okay, well, that was very nice. And Before you read your last poem, you are the editor publisher of a upcoming edition.
Yes. So I founded Revue Révolution, which is a bilingual poetry review, and we reunite all arts. So we have a new issue coming for 2022, and we're open for submissions. The theme will be the poet and inertia. So yeah, that's it. And we ground our creative philosophy is grounded in Sankhya philosophy, which is a school of Hinduism that defines reality as the interplay of harmony, passion, and inertia. And so, yeah, we've decided to dedicate this issue to inertia because we've been hit by inertia hard. Yeah, last year. So
yeah. Well, okay, so it's right on time in terms of being a very, very current topic in people's feelings and their written expression.
Yes.
And that, when is the deadline for your 2022 issue?
September the 20th, yes.
And may people submit, is there any, may they, it's bilingual, multilingual, tell us.
It's bilingual. You can submit poetry in English, in French. We will speak German soon, but for now, it's just it's French and English. So yeah, you can submit poems in those two languages.
Well, we need to let the rest of the Angoras know that, because over the last 3 years, we've had poets read in roughly 15 native languages.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, because because Paris is an international spot, you know, for people coming in reading in Russian and Polish and Hungarian and Mandarin Chinese and French and Arabic and Spanish. So you're in the right. We like what you're doing. Because we participate that way ourselves. Okay, so can we hear, and good luck on this. That's great what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so people can get in touch with Muriel. Where can they get in touch with you if they wish to submit, Muriel?
So I have an Instagram page, but we have a submission system on the review's website. So everything is just on the review. So the website address is revuerevolution.com.
Easy enough. We can even say it in our own accent. Revuerevolution.com.
Absolutely.
If you want a review.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. It works in both languages very easily. It doesn't need to be translated. That helps. Okay, may we hear now Three's a Charm from you, please?
Yes, so I'm going to read a poem in French now, and it's an experiment with language. So it's not about me telling a story, it's just me playing with sounds and using sounds as if there were characters. So, where is it? Sorry. Yeah, I have it. So the name of the poem is Chanson délicate et sans soudure. Par ici, caressait un peu par là, quand plus tard effleurait tantôt de ses doigts délicats. Délicat courait après rugosité pour s'adoucir. Suivant chantait souvent se taisant, finissant par se décatir désormais, puisque pourquoi ne sait vraiment comment s'en fout. Quand décadence, rythme, doigts, genoux à terre, jambes les siens cuisent nos descentes en chair, ou s'entichent les ventres contre un mur et creusant souffles y cherchant béances et trous. Si matrice les flots et tisse le désir toilant, patiemment l'aime si fort, mais peu l'emportera fatalement. Philosophes se riment avec poétesse, désordre tierce et fou dans l'embarras, journée vide de délicat, si vide de délicat. et enflamme encore dans sa tête, tannant de sa noirceur le muscat. Et d'ailleurs, vide est-il vraiment vous? Je ne sais pas.
And I like,
Sorry.
the flamme encore dans sa tête. Yeah, the flame is in your head.
Yes, yeah, you got it, yeah.
That's it.
L'enflamme encore
That's
dans sa tête.
all right. Well, that was very nice. Thank you very much. It's
Thank
really
you
good
for
to hear
hearing
you
me.
for
Thank you.
your first time. And now, see, I guess it's my turn now. And what I've decided to do is do some. Yeah, I want to go with. Lately, I've been reading a lot of very serious uh, moral and emotional work that with long lines and so forth. So tonight, I'd like to do just some brief stuff. And yes, people, we were talking about our beloved beats earlier, and I'm certainly influenced by them. So I'm going to return to a poem that's called Slipping Out of L7. And the quiz is, what do you get when you connect an L to a 7? As the beats would call it, you get a square, baby. A square is a null. All right, here we go. Slipping out of L7. Okay. At 3 years old, I chose to rise, turned a handle on a door, a corner on a block, and I walked to this world and looked at life. I have been preoccupied by trains, boats, cars, planes, designs, dreams, plans, maps stamped on soles of my shoes, how to go, uh, how to go, how to, where go, it's I. About doing it, damn. For for many and three, I have stepped to rhythmic ticks of time, though not a tune I label mine. Oh, tune borrowed, broke, and blue. Today I put a hold on big round face of a majestic clock, gaze upon it and ponder my time and my tune, finally to admit I don't know the yin and yang of it. Big round clock chimes, looks down, says, take 5, son, and then some. The main spring, the main thing you dig for, internal, simple, a clean baseline. I smile, calm, quiet. I'm a man sprung on parole, not doing time, just taking time, not doing time, but taking time, not doing time, just taking time. Shooby doo doo wah wah. Alrighty. And here's one. I like to read, and I like to make a little editorial statement. This is about child abuse. It's about my own child abuse. I don't wear it as a badge for the rest of my life, and I don't believe I suffered from it for the rest of my life. Though there was some suffering involved. Why am I saying this? Because I don't think people who have been abused need to carry that around for the rest of their life and stop growing, as so many people wish to do today, to be full-time victims. In other words, I can be a fool, but not a full-time victim. There's a difference. Okay, so this is called, we play on words, compound sentence. Stench of booze breath, reeking cigarette, smoked off butt end of acrid tongue, sirens impending calamity permeates dank air, packed thick, still, this overcrowded, not for living room. Predictably spent his last time, another bottle on sick spirit, eating his insides, rise, volcanic eruptions, rain down, we know, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, flash monster Casey at the bat. Bodies launched with the greatest of ease, how the circus begins. The show must go on, an illusion of grace. Round flesh tumbles to rest at unforgiving, not for living dining room wall. Perfect execution, evidence of a countless rehearsals, none for pretend. The ringmaster roars, "This is a take," and hurls you into bad entropy, where stunt babies, gasping, squirming, frenzied eyes plead, "No more dreaded encores break my sleep as I'm an alien visitor to my own dreams. Wake in morning, he's always silent, indifferently calm. It never happened. Rinse our debris and chain in drain choked on excess. Stir like freaks in a reprieve, conscripts in your circus, mutant extras cast for unfinished movie, we ever present acrobats. And Daddy, I think you wish we weren't here so you wouldn't have to work so hard. And so do we. Okay. Okay. Now here's one that I rewrote from now here's one that I rewrote from an original Italian piece by a poet named Pavese, and I decided to
Pavese.
yes, and I decided to put it in my English and change it a bit. I mean, actually change it in several places. So, admittedly, it's influenced by Pavese and added to by me, and it's simply called "Rain Will Fall." Rain will fall into the cracks of your crooked sidewalk, a light rain, like a breath, as a faint step you take. Rain like truth will follow you everywhere. After the onyx night, the dawn will raise you with stubborn, lovers and lost songbirds. There will be other days, other voices to fill your head, bold and new, soon to grow old and leave like a costume left over from last night's party. My voice absent, but for the hum of jazz chord minors. You will make gestures to invite, answer them in words, well worn, in the face of darkness, a wordless pain. You will you will try not to retreat from fire and truth, confronting that which eludes you, holding fast to a fearful silence, disguising your face, your voice, and your true intentions, hoping some creature in your shrunken universe stops by in your dream to say, "I will hold you." Nonetheless, the cats will know. Okay, so
Wow.
thank you. Thank you for listening to that. Very nice. And all right, so we've gone through the first round, and maybe David could cut us off now, and we could chat for. We could rat a tat tat and have a little chat. When you're ready to record, Dave. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, poets and poetesses. We're about to enter our second round of Angora poets, and we've got a six pack to get unload on this second round tonight. And we're going to return with Bill Strangmeyer. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Mo. Okay, this one is called, it's another old one. It's called Onerica. Define the terms and lose the tears for the loss of the anger and fire. The evolution of point of view makes pale, and the conversational tone predominates. Maturity is a disappointment to children, and the aging process is a lesson they ignore, a lesson we ignored. Who's left to remember the needs and desire? Desire half fake because so desired. The need more than real, but we couldn't admit it. For were we not cool and not killers of fools? And soon to go on to what glories and gain. But still we have the nightly retreat into old habits, old wars, old defeats, into old girlfriends and into old love. For a time we were pulled and then we were held, the fanatical duplicity of inertia. No longer are they ever new. Now they keep coming back, always the same mouths and eyes, the same comments, the same stakes, the same positions, and it's all just memory now. I found my dreams and am now deceived, the cruel to those who continue to call on the failings in me that they see to their gain. Foolish beauties no longer seen with their own eyes, muscled clowns with flies undone and paper party crowns, wise catamites and pederasts with an eye to the main chance, love offered in naive bad faith, the jokes know no bounds. Can the churchly know this fear, or the grad school literati trained and mind-controlled but snide? At least not Philistine, though sometimes literal, sometimes obtuse. All those infidels, realists, and narcs are not depressed by the believers, all dressed in turbans or baseball caps, not brooding on the mystery, dreaming of God, but strutting and bragging of murders to come, not kneeling and chanting midst candles and wood, but strutting and bragging of murders they've done, and all of them doomed to the hell that they make in their bathing caps and mesh, or their bad ties and business suits, subject to studies and snickers. My dream is this, my dream is that, my dream is but a dream. My fire is this, my fire is that, my fire is but a flame. But I return each night to my freedom and unimportant joy, that every morning I forget the dull but vivid logic of the world we've dreamt up as a cage. But I was forgetting the state. I forget every day the all. Our dreams are unworthy of us. Our dreams are a fraud. We are the heirs of the worshippers of Baal. From Odin's gift our elders drew their strength. We are the ones against whom Jupiter roared. But we continue in our daily sleep the work of Mammon as his sheep. For we're all here to live our dreams, and we're all here to think about the counterfeit words of our other nostalgias. But you'll see, you'll see.
Wow, you'll see. You got your warning. You got your prep, people. All right. Straight from the judge. All right. That's an injunction. Would you like to read your second one, please, Bill?
Yeah. As soon as I decide, something kind of funny. Hope you'll laugh. It's called Fishing and Tripping. Oh, my rhythm isn't slow enough, I fear, like a free-fall fire catching in my ear. Not the inner slow you're using as a point to which refers the sly mending, the wending, shy mending, where poses the lit-up concurrence of the irreconcilable logistics of life as the fluo bunch of flowers hesitates delicately and really instinctively, carefully chooses marvel over madness, for elegance will always out, and let's dance into musics of time in a line, sweep rickety riches from which we've been weaned past tumblers and billboys around us to sparks, and then fall to the tune of a clattering racket, a pause, a stop, a well-soothed result, a day of rain, and you can sell it, you can eat it if you catch it.
All right. Yes. Does that mean you're going to poison yourself if you can catch it?
I'm not responsible for Western civilization, Mo.
Well, I was just wondering if there was what one might expect if they can catch it and eat. You can eat it if you can catch it. Mm. Okay. All right. We'll leave that one up for speculation and analysis. Very nice, Bill. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
and now we're going to move from Paris, France, back to San Francisco, or the Baghdad on the Bay, as some people call it. And welcome Dharma Dave Wilson. Go ahead, Dave. You're on.
Okay, so we were talking about the beats. This one is talks about them too. The first annual animal Jack Kerouac poem of not doing. Imagine a Zen monastery in a forest. The monastery isn't there. Imagine a round-faced, hookah-smoking cat in a football jersey with the number 23 emblazoned on it, who sits grinning on a rather large red mushroom and says, "Yeah, man, I played jazz with Jack Kerouac in 1956. The cat isn't there either. Imagine a green meadow in which Gary Snyder stands, bending over to examine some black bear shit, while Jack Kerouac plays hopscotch on some lava boulders. The meadow might possibly be there. Imagine a vulture crow swooping down out of a eucalyptus tree and tearing at a pretender's lit up head, attempting to draw the blood of the wine. The vulture crow is most definitely there. Really realize in your mind's eye a smoky, seamy apartment with sweet wine bottles falling over the chairs, and coughing and confusion, and a picture of a Zen monastery in a forest hanging off the wall. The picture is really there, off the wall.
Is that her? Oh, wow. So, what is real other than? Well, what did you say? You did say that at one point that what some predator animal was in your face, and that is
Yeah,
real.
it's a big,
Okay.
scary, imaginary bird, but I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. I get you. Yeah, because some things like that's no illusion, son.
Exactly. You wish it was sometimes. It's like,
Okay.
oh man, I wish
I
this
like
wasn't real.
that the way you play way you play with that very well. The basic Eastern philosophical essence in your contemporary voice. That's
Thank you.
very nice and very humorous and very profound. So wow, that's like a club sandwich. Everything going on in it. In that
Don't
poem.
don't lose your sense of humor, because if you lose your sense of humor, it isn't funny anymore, right?
You got that right. Okay. Well, all right. Thank you, Dharma Dave. And now we will move over
Oh, I
to
get
a.
one more. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
number two.
I suffer from limited storage space. You can tell right now. Now that poem jumped at one point so much I thought you went into a second poem. You know, the sweet wine bottles and all.
That was all the
See,
same poem.
see,
So
some of us need to get educated. Now, like we were talking earlier, if I saw that on the written page, I'd have followed it. Oh, this is
see,
in a sense a break. And listening to it, you had me thinking it was two poems. What do I know?
well,
Until you wrapped it up. I'm sorry. And then you went back to the original Imagine This, Imagine That.
so
Okay.
here's a second distinct poem, and this will be my last offering of the of the session here. This is called Flow Poem. Sunlight on a spring's day. Birds singing, crows cawing. Alan plays guitar. I sit here finally relaxed a bit. I don't really care what happens. I am seeking a picture postcard view of what's going on, but lacking that, will settle for sitting on this patio, looking up at the twirling shapes of these trees. I don't really feel like writing about what's going on, about what's important, because the important thing right now is to just forget everything and be in some Zen state where everything is seen as if for the first time. What thing is this I have caught myself in? I began half-heartedly thinking I was writing a poem. Now I am not so sure. This thing seems to be in a state of flux between poem and grocery list, with here an intriguing image but ever there a meaningless stretch of line. But lo, the meandering babble of a rambling journey down the corridors of my half-forgotten dream. This week, actually, I have taken myself out of service for some much-needed repairs, and thus I shall not fear that the poem that I write be fuel for the woodman's fire. But no task ever seemed so cruel as the writing of an overgrown poem, or the writing of a poem with nightmare ranges of structure, yet here and there an image like a gem shining forth in the wreckage of that monstrosity. It's hopeless to hope to reap the benefit of every marble that ever fell into any storm drain, needles and haystacks, and every hot-blooded dream can be swallowed by guppies and summer puddles. E. Cummings was as much a poet as anyone, and being here is just one measure of success. There is only time to let it flow.
Thank you, David. That's some good stuff. I wish I went into sort of Eastern spiritual direction as much as you have. I have a spiritual condition. Mine rests between Dalai Lama and Dolly Parton.
That's good ground.
Okay, so I either ring bells or sing lively. But anyway, I'm complimenting you. Thank you very much because you render that philosophical point of view or spiritual point of view in your language in ways that I can understand it.
Thank
I don't
you.
have, certain symbolic language that I wasn't, acquainted with, which happened. Like to understand this poem, you have to have studied, Gary Schneider for 20 years. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't study him for 20 years.
I think that poems should not very seldom require little, if any, explanation other than what's in the actual poem that you're presenting.
Well,
That's
you sure
my
did too.
feeling about it. And so I've heard too many people who go on before they get to reading their piece. We all do it on occasion, but
A poem should not mean but be.
right.
Well, okay, well, you sure did express it very well. Okay, so, okay, I want to thank you for that very much. That was nice. Okay, so now I have the pleasure of returning to a first-time poet for Angora Poets, and she read in the first round, and she's going to read again. And her name is Muriel Mabongo from the Congo, from Bordeaux, and from Paris, and now New York City. This woman gets around. Gotta give her credit just for that. So let's hear from you now, Muriel.
Thank you. I am going to read you a poem about the difficulty of loving human beings. The name of the poem is I'm Only Pretending. I'm only pretending to love you, hungry for otherness as I am, trapped in a divine epigram, bound to 7 billion, all decrepit. Pretending to love is the only exit. I'm only pretending to love you. Angular, voluptuous bodies, perfect biological geometries, devil's blonde, brown, redhead, dark voices screaming things left unsaid. I'm only pretending to love you. Minds brilliant and quizzical, smiles disarming and whimsical, feet running, counting their breath, as if going nowhere running cheats death. I'm only pretending to love you. Now, faking effects itches too much, so I often disappear to avoid your touch, vanish into my own mental abyss, covered in warm amber of mournful mist. opened to the sun of my psyche, intimate with flying bubbles only, and imaginary figs and flowers. I'm holed up in these silent hours, come and get me, because I still mirror myself in the human mess, hungry as I am for a bit of likeness.
Oh, yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
And I thought you loved me too until I got home and the house was empty. So I feel you.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, which I do with everybody who writes a love poem. Was that written to a particular individual in your life?
No, it's written to human beings.
Oh, that's right. You're
It's
talking about the whole race.
all of us. Yes,
Oh
we're
my goodness.
enigmas. So yeah.
You know, I have this friend from Bayonne, New Jersey. Bayonne, right? Here we go. Not the garden spot of the universe. His name is Jimmy Cheese. And he always says, I can't stand people, but there's so many of them.
It's funny.
Bill knows
Yeah.
Jimmy Cheese. Okay. So, okay, now can we hear your next poem, please, Muriel?
Yes. So the next one is in French, and the name of the poem is Bonne Nuit.
Oh, and can you give us, well, good night. Yes. Is
Yeah,
there a
it's
need for any kind of brief summary?
good night. Um it's a symbolist poem, and it's about the dark times in our lives, I guess.
Okay.
Bonne nuit. Vêpres antiques ou chapes de houle céleste, noire, recouvrant le soleil, bouche fuligineuse de l'univers en sommeil, nuit. Recoins inaccessibles et pestiférés de nos âmes, blanchis, l'autre visage de l'être aimé, son appel, une litanie, nuit. Demi-jour en éternelle genèse de nos corps, régénérés face double du monde et Lilith scintillant dans l'indestructibilité, nuit. Liqueur et nectar vulnéraire du triste labeur et solitude de la femme et de l'enfant en pleurs. Bonne nuit. Comment puis-je, nuit, te vouloir bonne, quand, petit Dieu et grand homme, je nimbe ma force agissante d'une parure noire et aveuglante, et que je lutte, grand et résigné, seul, désespéré contre de sombres passagers, invoquant la lumière de mes voeux ou ne l'invoquant plus, me laissant mener partout dans l'indicible, errant seulement la nuit pour dissimuler mon sursis. Bonne nuit, moi l'apôtre délaissé par son Messie. Triste nuit, en vérité, je vous le dis, quand l'ange de lumière déjà se nommait Lucifer. Mais les masses brumeuses, les sédimentations cendreuses cèdent chaque fois leur place à la clarté franche des soleils de la revanche. Les parcelles de ton âme maintenant chantantes, tes mondes intérieurs comme des éliantes, le peuple de nécrose de nuit que tout le jour tu as servi. Et le jour, lumineuse tournure, le jour, l'aurore et le doux matin des cieux, l'autre visage de Borée et Phébus, pulvérisant le mal en légion, l'apocalypse étincelant et le duel renaissant.
Applause, Mita. Whoa.
Thank you.
Oh, bon nuit. Okay,
Thank you.
that's one hell of a good night send off there, Muriel.
Yeah, maybe you're going to have nightmares, but yeah.
Okay, tell us again briefly about your upcoming edition that Angora poets may submit to, please.
Yes, so Revue Révolution is dedicating the 4th issue to the poet and inertia. So if you want to submit poems, you can do it now. We're open for submissions until September the 20th.
The poet and inertia.
The poet and inertia.
You mean how I spent 4 months of confinement in Paris?
Yes. Or another form of inertia that cannot be described in other words than poetic words.
That's great. And it is, you are accepting bilingual, right?
Yes,
French,
yes,
English, and
French
the
and
same
English.
spirit as Angora Poets. So, okay, Angora Poets, here's an edition and a poet similar to us that goes bilingual.
Could you
All
put
right.
that on the chat, please? Would that be okay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
That'll be real okay. And while she's doing that, Jack Cooper's in the house on the screen. Are you there, Jack?
More or less, yes.
More or less. I like that. Given the way tonight's been going, we've been doing more and less.
Mm.
You're right on time. All right. A whole lot of more and a whole lot of less, fella. So once again, the bar has been raised quite well tonight. You're you're in good company.
We're balanced.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Muriel, and
you.
encourage you,
you,
invite
Mo.
you directly. Angora poets are invited only, and we came across each other, as you know, and I'm glad that you've been invited to be with us, and I
I'm
hope you
grateful. Thank you.
And when I'm in New York next week, you'll be up in Harlem, and I'll be right below Harlem.
Yes, we can have
Maybe
a
we
coffee.
maybe we should take a coffee and
Sure, I would love that.
trump some poetry on either on the Lexington line or the number one.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
and
Thank you,
it's
Mo.
in the chat, right? Your
Yes, I just added it. Yeah, it's in the
okay.
chat.
Cool. All right, that's very good. Okay, so now I would like to move on to our next poet. We will bring us.
Tell me what you were more inspired by between a poem called Portrait and another one called Poverty. In both cases, these are portraits of men that I met in real life. So Portrait or Poverty?
Well, I'm kind of looking at how you might phrase poverty.
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 Yeah, poverty is my choice.
We all seem to be
Okay.
familiar with that concept.
Yeah.
So this is about a man that I meet very often in the metro when I'm changing stations from the 14th to the 13th. He's got all his stuff with him. I actually, I don't know how he can live that way, but he really lives there with packs of every sort. And that's what I dreamt about, thinking about him. And it's
He
called
has like
Poverty.
30 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that guy.
And he's not Santa Claus.
Oh.
Them 30 bags.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he moves them every day,
Mhm.
as far as I can tell.
So,
You have to.
Poverty.
Okay, Claire.
This man is sitting on the floor like a wise man. Thoughts transpierce his skull as his eyes move around. Ones of beauty and youth. Times when misery wasn't possible, for it was but a word. Times when childhood was the cure for everything. Feelings were but words as long as we were young. Happiness was the only real feeling, and you just had to believe in it, that everything was good, so that the world outside ourselves was blue like the sky. But this man was night's friend, having as a roof what was once under his feet. He moves in the underground like a yellow ghost, stuck in the tunnel of his thoughts, where a million passengers trod their feet. He is the steps we don't make, the end we fear. He is the poverty roaming around like a black ghost. He haunts the darkest places one can imagine, making loneliness his friend, talking to it sometimes. The black ghost of our thoughts, the youth of a dark life where everything is lost. He is sitting on the ground, opening his arms, looking for a mother to come and save him. The mom he never had. And yet he extends his arms as if he had known this, opening his arms to grasp that woman's breast. But she is no more. You'll have to save yourself, child, she seems to whisper in his back. Open your arms and reach for the sky above. Walk and see life defile before you. You're the master of the skies. And still, he loses himself in this image of childhood where his mother's breast was like a dark pillow, warming him, bringing him food and love. Her arms were his shelter. She just had to close them upon him, and he was whole. A human in two beings, a human in four lungs. The times when darkness was just a synonym for truth and belonging. When darkness was just a beginning, the place where we start from. But now he is a yellow ghost roaming through darkness. The end of the tunnel seems near, and yet it escapes him night and day, day after day. And the end seems to be the beginning, but he moves away in darkness, eternally.
Okay. Yes, yes.
That's my first one.
Yeah. Stuck in the tunnel of his thoughts
Yeah,
with many feet walking upon them.
yeah.
I think I got that almost right. Wow. That can,
A
that
human
really worked.
into being.
Oof.
Bless you.
I'm sorry, Claire. Come on back, Claire.
I, s- I said bless you.
Oh, well, thank you. I could use some blessings. Goodness gracious. All right. So, Claire, let's hear number 2 from you, please.
Yes, number 2 is quite short and it's called Nectar of the Gods. Take the words out of your mouth like a nectar from the gods. Take the silence of the night as a sign the world you should adore. Take the rising baby's cries as a hope of reawakening, and the sweet breeze of the mountain as a secret you should be keeping. Take the useless laughter as a sign of departure. Take the fools and drunkards as the models of failure. Take the pain in the heart as a sign you are living. Take the howls of the owl as an explanation why this world you should adore, and count to 4 till you jump in the water and wet your sacred fur to taste the glittering purple secret of the gods, the nectar of inspiration, the eternal night we adore.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Claire, what is this? The howls of the owls. Would you repeat that
Yes,
1 or 2 lines there?
I just have to find it. Take the howls of the owl as an explanation why this world you should adore,
Yeah.
and
What
count to
else?
4 till you jump in the water and wet your sacred fur.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Keeping it simply intimate. If I could add that in right away. How would you describe that poem? Simplicity of elegance. Thank you very much, Claire.
Thank you, Mo.
Appreciate it. See you Thursday.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna stay in there. And by the way, for those that don't know, Claire is bilingual and also writes in French. You know, her native language. So what you're hearing, or in these poems, is someone writing and reading in their second language. So, okay. So we have 2 women on board tonight doing that. You and Muriel. That's nice. That's Angora poets for you. Okay. Sacre bleu. What? Okay. Okay. So next, we're gonna stay in Paris here, and we're gonna bring on our resident singer songwriter poet. Okay. So Kareem Jafari, you're on, Kareem.
Yeah, hello people. Great pleasure to be here as usual.
Hey,
Tonight
this is
I have a
good.
small song and then a French poem. So I'll sing July 23 at the étage, Metro Goncourt. You're welcome.
Okay, so again, is that a bar, Kareem, or what is that place?
It's a kind of great bar with a little stage.
Nice. So notify us, tag us when you do your feature that evening. Okay.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Okay, so you're on, Kareem. Over to you.
Through the night, I hear thunder, but it's only in my mind. And when the darkness is almost over, comes to me the willing to fight. Deep in the desert, lost in the wind. And I wonder if you still remember my own name. Oh, my name is wild as a river. I'm flowing down the street. No one to talk to, and no one to meet. Deep in the desert, lost in the wind. In the night train, in my brain, still love you. On the TV shows, when the wind blows, love you, love you. Through the night, I hear voices, but it's only in my mind, mind.
Okay. All right, Kareem. Very nice. Is that and so now you're gonna give us what, a French poem? Or
Yeah, yeah. Well, so this poem was wrote with the perspective as being a woman. It's called Nu sous le maquillage.
okay.
So
Did you say muse?
Naked, naked.
Naked. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Nu sous le maquillage, je
Okay.
pleure les outrages du temps.
Ouais.
Les rides comme des routes, à chaque rire me rappellent ma jeunesse et mes doutes, les amants que j'ai saisis sous le feu déjà fourni, de la passion du désir, la femme est apparue et la fille a dû jouir. Nue sous le maquillage, cela faisait si longtemps que je n'avais contemplé ce visage, c'est le mien pourtant, et des rides comme des routes à chaque rire me rappellent ma jeunesse et mes doutes, les amants que j'ai saisis sur le feu déjà fourni de la passion du désir. Nu sous le maquillage, cela, nu sous le maquillage, yeah, sorry, I forgot my text. J'aimerais rire de tes élucubrations, pouvoir, si ce n'est sourire, payer l'addition. Le feu est éteint, mais la fumée me gêne. L'odeur de ton parfum donne forme à ma peine. Et si demain toujours tu maudis notre passé, la mémoire joue de mauvais tours, elle n'est pas si pressée. Des mois, des années seuls dans le noir, une âme brisée juste pour ta gloire. Je fais de toi une étoile, inébranlable et dorée, une image d'Épinal dont je cultive l'ambiguïté. That's it.
Good. Wow. Bravo. Bravo. C'est bien, c'est très bien, Karim. Is that a recent poem of yours?
No, it's an old one, but I haven't told it since a long time, so I forgot a bit of the poem.
Well, you're allowed because we can't fire anybody here. We'll end up on Twitter. No, that's cool. Everybody goes through a little glitch. Great. And so, okay, so I want to ask you, like I do, the person you wrote this to, I presume a woman?
No, it was I tried to express myself through a character, and that character is a woman.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Thank you very much. Good. I read a poem about from a woman's voice once at the wrong political time and got escorted off stage because some lesbians in the audience said no man can ever write a woman's sentiment. So I got escorted right off stage. I mean, the guy took me by the elbow. It was a guy who came up, took me by the elbow. And the sister poets who were lesbian were just, get him off, get him off. No right to speak in a woman's voice. And I said, well, Jesus, I tried my best. Anyway, good for you, Kareem. Good to hear you, babe. Okay, so now we're going to move over. Wow, we're going to stay in Paris, actually. Hey, and we're going to call upon our poet, Jack Cooper. No, can't hear you yet.
I said I was delighted.
Well, we're glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I have, I mean, you can judge from the first two lines of the date of this, the composition of this poem. It's called A Postcard from a Hiatus. And it's okay, and it's also in August. It's getting a little bit ahead of us. Postcard from a Hiatus. The 40th anniversary of Hiroshima and the birth, so-called, of our atomic age. I am celebrating it with my own modest form of radiation, which I feel mostly about my neck and shoulders. I'm in Miami. There are creatures here with 4 legs that crawl on the ground and beer in the refrigerator. I have looked the hibiscus in the face, and in short, I was afraid. Vacations are hard to begin. We weave on our bicycles through regions inimical to man, where reign the dusky mosquito and repellent in a can. I haven't seen an alligator or a tsetse fly. I'm up to my neck now in water in a swimming pool, whereas a day or 2 ago, I was up to my eyes with things to do and pack, with work to do and work I hadn't done or couldn't do, with things in general to worry about, letters to write. I shall end then this first dispatch from my hiatus with a sigh of relief in turning to the postcard and now away from it as a method of communication, and with a traditional greeting, wish you were here, whoever you are. There's room under the screens for everyone and everything in our friend's house. Room 2, beside the swimming pool, where the sun is a mushroom cloud. Behind the eyelids, buttery and smooth. In our friend's backyard.
Okay. There's one to be unpacked, huh? From the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki to Florida, and it was all coherent. The leap, the transition was really nice. What I liked, okay, if I may say, you talked about the four-legged creatures. Were you talking about the Florida cockroaches?
No, I brought cockroaches from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
And then
I wasn't paying attention to the ones in Florida.
Okay.
But I was talking about the lizards.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you said 4-legged, yeah, because roaches get into everything too. You know, that's why.
Do they have all 4 legs? That's the problem.
Oh, they do.
They do?
They do. Oh, yes, they do.
I thought they were insects. Don't insects have
6 legs?
6 legs?
6.
6, right?
And they're palmetto bugs.
Yeah, palmetto bugs.
Yeah. Oh, so they should be in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you followed that with I looked into, go ahead into the flower.
Oh, yes. I've looked the hibiscus in the face. And in short, I was afraid.
Well, that was, wow, that really got me after following the 4-legged creatures, where you concluded that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm borrowing from T.S. Eliot. You know, what does he say? The coachman has looked me in the face, and I was afraid. Or.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, may we hear a second one, please?
Yes, I have a short one, which I also came across, which is called Sidney Poitier. I saw him once, midtown, up Fifth Avenue, his strides princes, head and mind over a star.
Oh,
that's it.
Yeah. Great homage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great homage.
Yeah.
Sidney Poitier, did he just, okay, him and his great lifelong buddy, Harry Belafonte.
Yeah.
Now, correct me. They're both still alive, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And I think that Poitier and Belafonte have both approached or passed 90 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I met Harry Belafonte once at Avery Fisher Hall in New York City. He hosted my group to come in and do something. We were on a tour from.
He has white hair now.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like you said about Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte was probably of a man who was over his prime, which he was back then, the most handsome over his prime man I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. Sidney Poitier was absolutely stunningly beautiful.
I'm talking about Harry Belafonte, his good friend.
Yeah.
And I remember his green eyes and his stature, and that's all. He was just really good people. And he greeted us all with an individual handshake. There was no, there was no elitism about it, even though.
Right.
Okay, so those two are just like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kareem, you got to mute, Kareem. We need you to mute. Okay.
Yeah. I saw Duke Ellington too. once, not too long before he died,
Wow.
at
You do?
Radio City, and
Oh.
literally the crowd divided like the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Make way.
Wow. Wow. Well, you get to see some people. It's
Yeah.
great.
I once saw Aristotle Onassis walking down the avenue, Fifth Avenue, between two mountainous bodyguards, and he was scarier than either of the bodyguards.
Wow.
And he had nothing on his wife.
I once saw Popeye the Sailor, and I offered him a can of spinach. Don't touch my olive oil. Okay, Popeye. I like your kids. Remember his kids? Pip-Eye, Poop-Eye. Yeah.
Sweet Pea.
It's Sweet Pea. That's right, Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. All right, let's see now. Have we got through everybody in this second round, right? So I think I'm going to finish with my two poems. And I've just been published, by the way, Muriel, myself, bilingually. In Moonstone Arts is coming up next month with a French English edition
Oh,
of
wonderful.
bilingual work, and I'm in it. And the theme by Larry Robbins, who gets behind Moonstone Art Center, is Liberté, Égalité, et Fraternité. So here's what he wants to publish. We talk about reading old poems, and that's funny. Like Duke Ellington, old poems breathe new life. I hope this breathes a bit of life for you all listening. I'll read the poem that he selected in English. And some of you have heard it before. It's the title of a book I published called We Want Everything. These predictable exchanges we pass on thin winds, are we talking or just fanning ourselves? Where's the gust? You don't know me, cause itself. Take my hand, grip. It is malleable. I'll come, always at the ready, on the brink of becoming. Now, you're a poor man in Philadelphia, and I, an exile shaping poems in Paris. And there we say, Comment vas-tu? Bien, et toi? And leave it at that, like two dogs lifting hind legs at the hydrant. Here it sounds, how's it going, man? Well, it goes like this. Each time our children's hands snagged on the barbed wire, ripped to shredded stumps, forbidden the fruits of innocent desires, I stop cold on the boulevard and uncurl palms scarred and cannot heal. I am a civilized man, thus told to hold my tongue. How absurd! I prefer to hold yours like a shell pressed to my ear, resonance of inner cosmos, rings of harmonic convergence. We want everything. We must stop lamenting the rain, shrinking from heat, humid days. Weather is so much tide, ocean of air from which we all swim. Direct me to the nearest galaxy. Shall we summon a boat? What's happening? Okay, ask me. You asked me. You and I make alchemy, the space between us, charged with protons of love, passion particles, osmosing the boundaries. We are about love when we choose to be. Bullets, blades, booby traps, sprung by the masters, parasites embalmed in pale faces, bank vault visions, myopic chill light. This is hermetic madness. Come on, Orpheus, play me your opus, and I will open my heart like a tulip in April. We shall build the cult of imagination. You don't know me. I hear your howls from the death camps, Columbus crematorium, migrating birds pass the news. I rent requiems from my sleep, brewed in the moire of morning cafe, arrested in motion on a bridge deck, hammered stone, cold steel rivets to the base of my skull. You don't know me? I've been writing to you for years in crystal clear moments. I sing your song in the darkness. So how you be? Go on, tell me. Tell me more, more, so much more. Thank you. And yeah, and here's a poem I like to read because of the season. You know, we've been reading some season poems. Jack just wrote one that takes place in coming soon, August. And here's a poem I believe got published in the Rainbow Project. I think so because of what was it? One of the colors that she wanted, purple or one of them, I believe. But anyway, I believe this is the poem, and it came to me out my kitchen window on the sixth floor, looking out over my little. I'll show you what I've been looking over. It's called Orchid. Sunday, Sunday morning, dew. Try to sing it. Sunday morning, dew point, drips, dream. Awake, egg world, weightless, white, orange, young, chestnut arb, blackbird glide, wind gentle, violet orchid, perfume petal, breath flows, hidden river, ocean deep. Ear nothing, eye mystery, golden grace, mind at peace, heart happy all day long. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that was Orchid, and I think it made it with the rainbow reading there, Jack. I think it's either violet or orange or something. I think.
I think it's up for purple. It's waiting for blue or
Okay. Oh, it's in line. Oh, that's
yeah.
nice.
It hasn't. I mean, the Rainbow Project is clouded over for the moment.
Okay, I get that. Roxanne Hoffman does a lot of work over there in New York, so I can understand why there's a line to get in. You know, and for those of you, Muriel and David, everybody for that matter, the Rainbow Project invites people to submit their poems on a given color,
Oh.
not a theme, but a color. And
Mhm.
and so I've submitted a couple times there. Yeah. And so you need to, if you want to know about that Rainbow Project, you want to catch up with Jack Cooper here since Roxanne isn't with us tonight. And he could, I suppose, you can give them the details, huh, Jack?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And get to know Roxanne and our kindred cousins over in New York City and Hoboken. There's Roxanne and Patricia Kerrigan. And for those of you that don't know, the Brownstone Poets that we've appeared on and they've appeared here. So that's our kindred group over in New York, the Brownstone Poets. And you can follow them too if you don't know them. Get in touch with me, Muriel, and I will connect
Yes.
you to Roxanne and Patricia, if you will. Jack
Sure.
knows them. A few of us know them, but anyway, I'm just offering that as a direct link for you. They will certainly admire the level of your poetry. I can
Thank
guarantee you
you.
that.
Thank
They know
you.
good. They know good poets when they hear them.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I encourage all of you on this screen to do such if you haven't done so far with our group over there. So, people, this was something else again. I say, everybody, give everybody a hand. Hey,
Yeah.
there you go. Everybody. How about a hand for that? That was really great. I think people are really going to appreciate what we delivered tonight, recited, performed, sang French, English, as we do. So I don't know. That's a whole lot to feel good about. A whole lot to feel good about.
I'm just getting the link for the Rainbow Project.
Sure. Okay.
It's actually if you want to look at it, here's the link. See if I can handle this.
Okay.
Probably not. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So I'll put this in there to everybody. Everyone. Okay. So this is it. The submission is, hold on, paste. Okay. I'm talking to my computer.
Everybody needs
There's the
somebody.
link,
Jack.
Jack.
Okay. I got the link.
You got the link.
Now, but the link to submit is submit at poetswearprada.com.
Yeah, you see, you submit easily now, simply by email.
Because they want, we prefer to have the submission in the body of the email.
And,
Submit.
Okay.
and I am so happy to hear that you don't have to convert things to,
Yeah, it's exactly right. That we can't open what's sent and
Right.
.com. Okay.
And
Nice.
There we go. Okay, I think.
And then for Brownstone Poets, you want to go to Facebook, people, and connect to the host and co-organizer with Roxanne. Her name is Patricia. And Corrigan, can we get this spelling right? Correg.
No, Carrigon.
You can tell me and Patricia are real tight. How do you do that again?
Yeah.
C-A.
It's Carrigon.
Oh, okay. Carrigan.
Carrigon.
Right. Don't tell her I misspelled her name.
Corrigan. That's me.
That's it. She's our Irish Jewess. We all thought she was born in
Slavic.
Yeah.
She put a picture of her beet potato salad.
Yeah. Beet potatoes. That sounds
with the explanation that she's Slavic. Two.
Right.
Because she's like 5 million other things.
So if you reach out to her on Facebook and in a message box or friend, she'll get right back to you because they're very enthusiastic about people joining into Brownstone Poets.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's the last Saturday of the month.
Yes. So there you go. Now they'll ask you for $5 to join the reading, to be accepted in the reading, and they'll confirm it because they pay their poets.
Right.
They have enough people participating where they pay their poet. They divide the money they get beyond administration costs, and they divvy it up to their featured poets, which is very nice.
And also, if you read with them, you are entitled to submit to their anthology as well.
And Patricia just finished an anthology, so I don't think she's announced an upcoming yet. Do you know, Jack?
Not that I know of. No.
She just finished.
It won't come out. I mean, the one that she's finishing is 2020. So
that's
when she wraps up 2021, she'll announce that.
Okay, I'm a little confused. She's doing 2020, but when she wraps up 2021. There's two dates in that.
Well, I mean, the new anthology represents poetry that was published in 2020.
Okay, all right.
Represents poets that appeared at Brownstone.
Okay,
and
how
then
nice.
next year will be the people who read in 2021.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Then, wow,
Yeah.
that'll be some of us Angoras along with other poets.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
that's
Yeah.
very-
No, if you've read it, Angora, excuse me, if you've read it, Brain,
Yeah.
you know what day it is. It's if you have read at Brownstone, you'll receive an invitation to submit.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Good news. Good news.
Yeah.
All right. And that'll come out in a printed version, yes?
Yes, it's a printed version.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness we can get,
Yeah, it's print. It's cool. It's print.
Yeah, the stuff at Moonstone Art Center comes out in print as well. It's so good to see print back.
Right.
All right. Okay, good. Anybody else have any comments to make or questions to ask from each other or upcoming?
Again, anybody know a good plumber in Paris that doesn't cheat you?
Gonna get these. Like I said, Bill, get in touch with me and I'll connect you with the plumber from the Martinique who lives in Paris and the Mexican plumbers who live in Paris. And yeah.
I have a good plumber too.
Oh, okay. And Jack does too. Okay, good. That's good.
He's from Belarus.
Yeah, that's the deal. Leave the French to make cheese and bread and wine, and leave the foreigners to do plumbing and electric. Why not? Why not? That's great. Okay. Anybody else want to jump in on this? No. Okay. Well,
thank you, everybody.
And I want to give one shout out again to our first timer, Muriel. I hope you felt good about joining us tonight, Muriel.
I loved it.
It was great to have you here, Muriel.
Yes,
I loved your poems were just magnificent. I really loved it.
Well, then,
back. Your poems were magnificent as well.
I'll be back.
And based on
if you want me, I'll be back.
Oh, we do want you. Yes, you can tell. In fact, let's give our first timer, Muriel, let's give her an Angora hand. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the crew. Okay. So as I do after each Angora that David is so kind to record, remember this, that he'll send it out to me and maybe others. And when I get it, I will tag every one of you so that you can pick it up and read it, pick it up online, and then note, for instance, Angora Poets, I read it 17 minutes, 23, and in the second round, 155 hours later, I read again, whatever it is, so people, if they wish to directly go to your own work, that's cool too, or your own songs, like Kareem, who does song and poem together. That's nice. So, and then the last thing I'd like to mention is like I said, Angora Poets will be doing its in-bar reading this Thursday. And now we found a new home on Thursdays at Au Chat Noir here in Paris. And I encourage all of you who see what I sent to you to post that on your own news feed so we can rally the other Angoras and poets at large from Paris to attend that Thursday night. I will be in New York, and so Jack Cooper will be hosting. So praise and blame on Jack Cooper this coming Thursday.
Go Jack.
So we'll be in good hands.
Wait, where's the praise?
Uh, oh boy, we were good. We did a lot of laughter tonight for talking about the dark
Hold the
side.
praise, keep the blame.
Yeah,
There you go.
okay. I just wanted to say we did a lot of good humor tonight in our conversation after plumbing so deep into the dark side, as I heard on several
Mm.
poems, which is, you know, we are not bubblegum. We do talk about what goes on beyond what they would have us, they would have us as ordinary people express, my new sneakers, or, my phony background set making me look like an international traveler on with Instagram. Uh, I saw one where the person actually did it. She freaked out in a podcast. She was all dressed up in a bikini, and yeah, she was fine. She was hot, okay. And it was a tight fitting bikini, okay. And there she is standing in front of. Here I am again, everybody. I just love being on this tropical beach like that. Life is so good to me. And the podcaster asked her a few questions, and I think she was on too much Adderall or something. She just
Oh,
freaked out, turned around and said, "You know what this is? You know what I am?" And she pushed down the background, which was just a background saying, "I don't go to any of these places." And the podcast faded out with her, freaking out live like that. So maybe she's come to her senses, will be and be somebody more meaningful than she feels at the moment.
Sounds like a cautionary tale right there.
Yeah, it cracked me up. I'm telling you what, somebody said it to me. I feel bad for the lady, but in a way, I'm glad that she like finally lost it. You know, you got to give it away to keep it. You got to give it away to keep it. So she gave it away that night, and I hope she keeps what's left.